You asked me to figure out where this video was recorded, so I did. Hi, I'm Jose Monkey, and I find people who ask to be found. This was a good one, guys. There was one specific clue that helped me get started, and once I had that, it was a pretty quick find. So what can we see? As the video opens, we can see a traffic light at the intersection here, and it looks like there's a street sign, but it's facing the wrong way for us to read it. We can see some power lines here and also a sign for a nearby Lowe's store. Next, the camera turns at kind of this wonky angle, and we can see a building off in the distance, but I couldn't really tell what it was. And after that, we see an AT&T store. The camera keeps turning, and we see the Lowe's that goes with that sign. And I noticed a couple other things. We've got an antenna or mast of some kind off in the distance here, and I also saw this blue and white sign. I'll come back to that. Finally, the person turns the camera back to the right, and we see all the same stuff again. Okay, so I figured I was probably going to need my usual approach of finding locations that are close to other locations. In this case, the AT&T and the Lowe's stores, and maybe the power lines and the antenna. But guys, I didn't know where to start. I had no idea where this was. Lowe's is in pretty much every state in the US, and they have over 1,700 stores. And AT&T is even worse. They have over 5,000 locations. I needed some way to narrow this down. So I looked at that blue and white sign again. I couldn't tell exactly what it was, but I started looking for images of blue and white road signs to see if I could find anything that looked like that. And after a little while, I started thinking that maybe this was one of those Adopt a Highway signs. Now, I know some states use very distinctive signs for their Adopt a Highway programs, and those would tell us which state it was right away. But I wasn't sure if all 50 states used unique signs for this type of thing, and I wasn't sure which state this was. So I did a bit more digging, and I found this specific style of sign. That looked to me very much like what I see in the video. That particular example was from Minnesota, but I wasn't sure if that style of sign is only used in Minnesota. So I found a few more examples, and those were also in Minnesota. And as I was looking to try to confirm whether or not this style of sign is unique to Minnesota, I found this post on a Minnesota subreddit. Okay, moving on. There were people in that thread who were a bit skeptical about whether or not that sign was definitely in Minnesota, but several people in the comments commented to say that, yes, this was in Minnesota, and this style of sign is only used there. I was all ready to do some kind of data mining queries to try to figure out where this was, but before I did that, I went to look at the Lowe's website to see how many locations there actually were in Minnesota. And guys, there are only 10 of them in the whole state. And this was the third one on the list. You were here, at this intersection, near Lowe's in Hibbing, Minnesota. Google Street View showed me that intersection from the start of the video. I could see the AT&T store and that other building off in the distance, which I learned is a movie theater. And I could see the Lowe's and the Adopt a Highway sign that helped us find this place. Okay, it's time to check which previous location is closest to this one. I've done a few locations in Minnesota before, but the closest one to this was the one I did in episode 152 in Nashwauk, Minnesota. That was the one where I used a snowmobile safety pamphlet as a clue. It's crazy. That location is about 10 miles or 16 kilometers away from this place. And guys, it's practically on the same road, US 169. The person in the video would need to make a U-turn though, because they're heading east in this video, and that location is west of here. But that gas station in episode 152 is just off of 169 on Minnesota Highway 65. Guys, check out the map of all the places I've found for you so far from the videos you've tagged me in. And while you're on my site, maybe go check out my store if you want to pick up a t-shirt or a coffee mug or something. And if anybody else wants me to find them, record a video where you say, "Find me, Jose Monkey," on camera, or something like that, or hold up a sign that says something similar. And don't forget to tag me in a comment on that video.